Welcome, this is Jason Christ with Open Church, resourcing the church for free. We're doing a tour of Audacity today as we talk about recording our message for broadcasting it online. Just a quick overview of Audacity. As you can see, I already have it open here for you. Here is our main kind of tool area for controlling the recording and the playback. Obviously, the play, record, pause, and stop buttons should all be familiar to you. Here you see our selection tool, kind of looks like an eye, and also our zoom tool, looks like a magnifying glass. We'll be talking about those two tools. We're going to ignore these other four tools today. Here you'll see one section that's important for recording. This is the sound level of our microphone. Over here is where we control the volume for the microphone. Again, has the microphone icon in both places and a slider bar here, which we'll talk about. So after you've hooked up all of your hardware and equipment, you'll want to start recording. So just go ahead and push the record button, and it begins recording a new track of audio. Here you can see audio track. And it's got the audio that's recording here. Now you'll notice it's already set for a fairly good volume level. Up here you'll see how big that or how high that volume is. The red bars that are kind of going up and back and forth there, that illustrates the volume level. The blue line represents the highest that the recording has been since you opened Audacity. The red bar shows most recently where it is. Again, you can't always see the red bar because it's recording, but there you have a nice sample of what that looks like. So that's the highest it's been recently, and that keeps changing. If you need to adjust the audio levels of the microphone, you can do that right here. I'm going to make it a little bit lower. And as you can see, it's not going as high, and I sound a little softer. As I move it back up to where it normally sits, it goes back to normal. Here again, you see the lower sound volume and the higher sound volume. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording now. So I just click the stop button, and it has now stopped recording, and you can see the peaks in the audio, and it records to about 1 minute and 14 seconds for this sample audio. Now let's say we want to get this ready for posting online. Generally speaking, it's a good idea to record a little bit of extra noise on the front and back of your audio broadcast. So let's go to the beginning, and let's say this first part here was just kind of filler that I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything important. So I'm on my selection tool, and I'm going to click, and I'm just going to drag over to the edge. That's going to highlight all of that audio. You can see the darker shade of gray. Just go ahead and go to Edit, Cut, and that'll get rid of that audio. If you made a mistake, you can come back and edit and choose Undo Cut, and it'll bring it all back for you. You can also delete the audio by just clicking the Delete button on your keyboard. So I've cut off the front part of my audio that wasn't supposed to be there. Now let's go do the same for our back section. Okay, we're going to get rid of right here, and we're going to get rid of to the end. Again, you can click and drag all the way over, or if you want, you can just click, and let's say you have a longer section of audio and you don't want to drag all that way, you can press and hold the Shift key and then click End on your keyboard, and it'll select all the way to the end of the audio. Again, I'm just going to go ahead and delete that section. Now, let's say you have some section of audio that's a little bit quieter in the middle, which when I lowered the volume of the microphone, you can go ahead and select that quieter section, and we're going to go to Effect, Amplifier, and then I'm going to amplify that. Now, it starts off with what the highest level is for not allowing any kind of distortion. I like to drop that down just a little bit, so I'm going to go to a nice 15 even, and I'm going to click OK. And you can see here that it has made that sound louder, and it ends up being pretty close to what the volume around it was before we started. So you can see that improved volume there, and it is a pretty good sound quality that results. It's not too distorted. So now that we've got our recording done, you just want to go ahead and click File and Save Project so we don't lose anything. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and put this on the desktop, and I'm going to call it Sound Test, and I'm just going to hit Enter. And now you can see it says Sound Test right up here in the title bar, so you know it's been saved. Now I want to go to File, and I'm going to choose Export. Here's where we're going to export our audio file, and it comes up with a window here. You can see I'm in my MP3 directory. This is where we store all of our sermons, and the file name is going to default to whatever you titled the project. So in this case, Sound Test. I want to go ahead and save it as an MP3 file, which is already selected, but you can see when you click on it that there are all kinds of other options here as well. MP3 is a pretty universal standard, so we're going to go ahead and use that. Once I'm satisfied with the name, I'm going to just click here and change that name to Sound Test Audio, so you can see that you can change that file name. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. This comes up with what we call a metadata window. This is where you can give some extra information about your recording. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this first box under to the right of artist name, and I'm just going to type my name in there. This is track 1. This is from the album Open Church. Track title. This is test recording. And then track number, this is track 1. I recorded this in 2008. The genre has a drop-down box. If you click, you can choose one of the drop-down options, or you can just type in something. I'm going to type in spoken word. And then if you want to leave a comment. Now you can save this as a template so that it always, when you reload it, it always comes up with those tags. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to call this test audio. And I'm going to hit save, and it's going to save those tags. To give you an idea of what that would look like, when you come in and let's say you have a blank, let's just hit the clear button. When you come here and you got a blank screen, you go to load, and you're going to choose that predefined one, which was test audio. And I'm not seeing it now. So we're just going to go ahead and grab Chuck's sermons. This is what we use for our sermons here at First Trinity. And you can see we have our information entered in there. So I'm going to click OK. And then it's going to start the exporting process. It's exporting the file. And now it is done. Once that window closes, you have an audio file that is ready to be broadcast. Tune in at a later blog post for what to do next.